this point, some of you are probably saying, well, just do CrossFit.
No, actually, I don't. I play real sports, not trying to be the best at exercising.
What's up, guys? Enkiri here, and today, contrary to what Kenny Powers thinks, I'm going to tell you guys exactly why you should strive to be the best at exercising. Yes, today we're going to talk about becoming the hybrid athlete. I'm going to define exactly what that means to me, and I'm going to make a case to you guys for why it's the ultimate form of fitness, and pretty much all of you, yes, I said all of you, should be striving to become the most badass hybrid athlete that you can become. So let's just jump right into it. So what exactly is a hybrid athlete anyway? To me, a hybrid athlete is basically a jack of all trades as it pertains to fitness. Now, some smartass is gonna jump in the comments. I just know it. They're gonna jump in the comments here and they're gonna say, jack of all trades, master of none. But that dude is probably a fucking virgin. Plus, that's literally the point here because, and here's the thing, specialization is actually an abomination. You can quote me on that. Specialization is an abomination. In the real world, specialization isn't really a positive adaptation. Specialization is a maladaptation. It is an overreaction. It is a hindrance. Look at the marathon runner, for example. He's super fit, can basically run forever. It's very, very impressive. But I can knock him over with my pinky finger. Look at the powerlifter. He's big, he's swole, he's scary, and he's strong as fuck, man. All that shit, you can't deny it, but I can run circles around him until his head starts spinning and he keels over. Look at the bodybuilder. He's jacked out of his mind. He has such beautiful, beautiful muscles, but humans aren't fucking peacocks, dude. Unless you can take flight after you spread those huge lats, then you're literally just a pageant queen. My point really is this. We as humans, we choose to go out of our way to reward specialization. We go out of our way to reward specialization because we like seeing the limits of the human body push. We like seeing what the human body is capable of on the extreme end of the spectrum. So we reward it with praise and attention and sometimes even money. And we artificially make this maladaptation into something desirable. But internally, you can't escape biology, and it's simply not healthy to be an immobile sack of meat. It doesn't really matter how strong you are or even how lean you are. Eventually, it's going to catch up to you. Not just because of the sheer size of your body, but also because of the things that you will be required to do to build and maintain that size. Up to and including eating an insanely large number of calories per day. And look, I love food, probably more than 99% of you, but there is no denying the evidence here that long-term caloric restriction is actually highly correlated with increased longevity. The powerlifter or the bodybuilder and their lifestyle is simply not congruent with this evidence and with this ideology. On the other end of the spectrum, it's simply not healthy to pound your joints into oblivion every single day. We gotta go pound the pavement as you trudge along for mile after mile after mile just to get your daily workload in, right? It's not healthy to live in a state of chronic catabolism, chronic eating away of tissue. Your muscle tissue slowly wastes away like you're dying of AIDS. That's literally the adaptation to chronic and excessive low intensity cardio. And so what you're left with at that point is a weak, frail body that can sustain pointlessly low effort activity pretty much indefinitely. Now that sounds like a maladaptation to me. Further, you cannot escape the reality of the external world either. At some point, you gotta step out of your house and the marathoner gets cornered by a guy on the street. The fuck is he gonna do about it? He's a fucking tiny little twig. The hybrid athlete, though, always has a fighting chance. The powerlifter or the bodybuilder gets jumped by a group of 3 or 4 guys. He's fucked. Doesn't matter how big and strong you are when you're outnumbered like that. You don't have a fucking chance. But the hybrid athlete, you gotta catch him first, bitch, and that motherfucker is fast. See, the hybrid athlete is not a master of any single domain, but he is formidable across every single domain. He carries enough mass to be imposing, but not so much that it slows him down. He can run fast enough to get himself out of trouble, and he can sustain it long enough that his conditioning and his work capacity are never a problem. He's strong enough to be in the same room as elite strength athletes and not look out of place. He's powerful like an Olympic weightlifter, but he's also elastic like a track athlete. He can climb a mountain or run a respectable mile time on a whim. He's jacked, he's strong, he's athletic, and he's well conditioned. That is a motherfucking hybrid athlete. Now at this point, some of you are probably saying, well, just do CrossFit. But here's the thing. CrossFit does get some aspects of this whole concept, this whole hybrid athlete, this whole master of fitness concept right in their quest for what they call the sport of fitness or overall fitness, something like that. But many of their chosen modalities, here's my problem with them, many of their chosen modalities and the parameters that they use for them absolutely freaking suck. So personally, I would never partake in CrossFit. You're never gonna see me doing rhythmic box jumps for time or any other idiotic shit like that because frankly, I like my Achilles tendons unruptured. And maybe that's just me, but the point is, it's kind of too haphazard overall of a concept for me. Now, ironically, the elite CrossFitters actually probably train in a much smarter fashion than actual CrossFit as often as they can. But still, no matter how good you are, there's no escaping the need for some specific prep work if you want to excel in competition. And where CrossFit is concerned, specific prep work means allowing the body to accumulate very large amounts of fatigue during highly technical and or ballistic movement patterns, which is point blank fucking stupid. So the hybrid athlete is not a CrossFitter, but he borrows from CrossFit where it suits him. He also borrows from powerlifting and Olympic lifting and strongman where it suits him. He borrows from general strength and conditioning and performance coaching where it suits him. He borrows from athletics where it suits him. He borrows from yoga where it suits him. He borrows from calisthenics where it suits him. And yes, he even borrows from bodybuilding, and I think you know where this is going, so say it with me, where it suits him. So now you know exactly what I mean when I use the term hybrid athlete. But why? Why should you train this way? Why should you forego the concept of mastery, of being a specialist, and instead choose to become as fitnessly well-rounded as possible? And I think that the answer here is multifaceted. But for me, it really boils down to creating the optimal marriage between long-term health and overall functionality and capability, both now, today, in terms of all the activities that you're able to partake in and the challenges that you're able to easily overcome and tackle, as well as functionality and capability down the road, right? When you get a little bit older and you start having to consider quality of life. And that's when things like muscle mass and strength and muscle power and general mobility and cardiovascular health are all going to become very, very important to you. But in your prime, unless somebody is paying you hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to be a specialist, to acquire that maladaptation, then you really kind of owe it to yourself to be as physically well-rounded and capable as possible. You can't predict the day that needing to be physically prepared will arrive, and you can't predict what sorts of physical capacities and qualities will be asked of you or will be required of you on that day. But trust me, one day it very well may arrive. And if you're a locked and loaded hybrid athlete, then that day may be a relatively innocuous one for you. But if you aren't, well, then all bets are off, man. It may not be a good day for you. And personally, I prefer to be prepared for whatever challenges that life can possibly throw my way. And this all kind of stands in stark contrast. This message today stands in stark contrast to the general message that you hear overwhelmingly from the fitness community, which by and large, in my opinion, kind of encourages specialization amongst everybody for no particular reason, for no real good reason, and without any real reward to come of it. And in my opinion, the vast majority of people are simply better off ignoring that advice altogether, ignoring the concept of specialization, and instead trying to become a hybrid athlete, becoming as well-rounded in terms of all fitness qualities and capacities as they possibly can. That will serve them much better both today and in the long run. Because the fact is, this concept of the hybrid athlete also ends up becoming a long-term investment investment in your future self. I think of it as a long-term investment in my future self, right? Not only am I potentially, fingers crossed here, and somebody please knock on wood when I say this, but not only am I potentially adding years to my life by training in the way that I train, but I'm also adding life to those years, right? The longer that you can keep your joints strong and supple with adequate muscle power and strength behind them, along with a strong and healthy cardiovascular system, then the longer that you will be able to remain fully functional and independent, even well into old age, right? My grandfather grew up on a farm. Later, he became a plumber, and then he started farming his own land on a small scale again after he retired from that. So it was a lifetime of physical activity for him, right? He died a few years ago, just shy of his 99th birthday. And for about 97 and a half years, he didn't need help from anybody. And that's pretty damn impressive if you ask me. And I think that the hybrid athlete mindset is not only the best way to maximize your own odds and set yourself up for this independent future like he had, but it's also the best way to ensure that you are always prepared to tackle any challenge that life throws your way in the present, today, here and now. So there you have it, guys. A case for the hybrid athlete. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Is it the truth? Am I right here? Or am I just blowing smoke up my own ass? Like I said, let me know in the comments. And anyway, that's all I got for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, I truly do hope that you were able to take something useful away from it. So please remember to smash the like button before you go. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And definitely leave me some love in the comments down below as well. And if you're interested in online coaching or training programs, be sure to visit my website, www.enkirilitefitness.com, for more details. Keep training hard, and I will catch you guys next time.